Good morning, afternoon, and evening for some of us, and welcome to Cross Wrap webinar for paper industry. Today we will be talking about zero landfill solutions, and I am your host, Martta Kivelä, and here with me my co-host.
My name is Kalle Kivelä. I'm here with Martta, and thank you for everybody enjoying. It's nice to see people globally from all over the world in the meeting.
Indeed, it is our honor to have all of you here. So first of all, welcome. Second, general functions of the webinar. So you will have your webinar 2 panel. There is a place for your questions. So during the webinar, feel free to ask any questions concerning the topics. And by the end of the webinar, we will see if we have time for the questions, but I believe that we will be a bit short on time, so we will contact you afterwards to answer your questions. Secondly, we will introduce a little bit Cross Wrap as a company and the reference customers that we have from the paper and recycling industries. Thirdly, we will have a short workshop session to warm up us towards the zero landfill solutions by Cross Wrap, starting from stock preparation, going until reject handling and efficient and environmental friendly packaging for your pulp. Thirdly, as said, if we will have time for comments, most likely not, so please do leave all your comments in the question box and we will get back to you. So thank you for joining, and without further ado, let's get started. So here we can see some of our dear customers from the paper industry, from waste to energy, from recycling, from plastic recycling, and so on. They are all the pioneers of zero landfill policies and sustainability of their own industries. And what they all have in common is that Cross Wrap is the provider for the solutions.
About the Cross Wrap, everybody, I mean, all of them you might know yet, is that we have started the company in 1994. We are a Finnish family company. We do make automated packing, dewiring, bale opening solutions. And today we have machinery more than 60 countries, about 600 of different type of installations. Our aim is to make a profit to our customers by automated operation solutions, deliver product which is efficient and low operating cost solutions to ensure, especially for safety, working security and environment, and adding a value in sustainable innovations.
Yes, well said, Kalle. So, first of all, we will do a short warm-up with some questions. So if you do have paper and a pen available, I recommend to take it and please write down your answers. So, first 3 questions. Is sustainability one of your core values in your business? Are your end customers demanding environmental responsibility also from their suppliers? Do you see the big picture here?
You might like me to comment?
No, we will go into that
Okay.
in our presentation,
All
as
right,
you probably
Martta.
remember.
Yeah.
So, what is the level of efficiency and safety in your material streams, such as your raw material, as recycled fiber, pulp reject, and pulp itself? What are the environmental and safety hazards caused by these streams? So, thirdly, why add wires to the pulp process?
We have to say that we are not specialists in pulp itself. We just do the machinery before and after, but that's a good question, I will say, Martta.
Exactly. And to highlight, we are mostly specialists in recycling. And yeah, we will leave it to that and come back to it in our presentation. So what is the economical and ecological cost to let the wires into the process? Wouldn't it be better to recycle and profit from the bale ties? Just questions.
Good question, Martta.
All right. And then when we look at these pictures, do we see pulp reject as valuable resource or costly waste to be landfilled? So there was our warm-up questions, and then Kalle.
Okay, we are talking about the zero landfill solution for stock reparation for the reject. And here you see our roadmap, which is kind of invented by us. Well, not really us. I mean, this has come along with our customers in the past years that we have been adding, doing the services for them for their request, and as we saw earlier, that there's plenty of customers who are responsible for their operations.
And today we will start from going from stock preparation to pulp reject handling and reusing the pulp and not ending up to the landfill. Then we will go from the pulp process to the handling of pulp, the efficiency with cross wrap solutions.
So talking about stock reparation, here on the left we see a picture where we can see loose material which is either came loose or it has been opened to be loose, and this kind of thing will kind of there's a possibility for animals and bugs, and needs a lot of machinery to operate with, needs a lot of room, and of course with the loose material the risk of fire is bigger than anywhere else. Compare that if your stock will be on decent density bales, it's easier to stock, it makes more sense and value when you need less space and need less operators. It's just putting the bales into the dewiring system and get them in a process and recycle the wires before they go in. And it's a clean and secured operation.
Yes, indeed. safety above all. So after stock preparation, we need to open and feed the bales in some kind of way. With Cross Wrap, we have several solutions how to feed the bales efficiently and to avoid that big loose material causing the problems Kalle mentioned before. Here we can see our wire cutting solutions. We have different kind of cutters from rotating, upper cutting to linear cutting from the top. But better than me explaining, we can have a look of a video. So these wire cutters cuts the wires automatically.
Okay, here it's a system which just cuts the wires on a conveyor. We see here a couple examples from Saika where they do the wires all just a cut before it goes to the process. And in the right-hand side, you see Georgia Pacific in Oregon. It's a great system where they have wrapped bales with materials which might go to another alternative to go to the landfill. But here it would be used. And so we will see a video how that kind of cutter works in both cases, that it's just a simple cutter, and but it helps on not having a manual operation, and of course makes efficiency for the production of the pulp when the wires are cut in upfront, and easy operation for that. On the right hand picture you saw earlier this similar machine, but that was cutting the bales which are wrapped tight, that it doesn't have a ties, but in this case we use wires. So this is just a few pictures of that kind of machine which we do for, well, it's a similar machine, but it opens the wrapped bale to be used in a process by Georgia Pacific. Here we have a top cutter, which is the same cutter we use it in later on. You will see it this dewiring system. It can be used there too. That it's a similar operation. It's one of those units we have available for automated process in paper bales or OCC, whatever your bales are with wired.
Yes, and from these wire cutters, we can move on to the dewiring unit itself. So when we want the highest efficiency for our feeding of the fibers, we have developed the Cross Wrap Dewiring that is now delivered to over 60 customers worldwide, and it cuts, separates, and coils the wires automatically. Also, to get the better picture of the machine itself, we will watch a video. The video is our reference here from Finland. So this is a Sonoco plant here in Finland. In this case, the feeding conveyor itself was an existing one. So we are highly flexible on our solutions of dewiring. The dewiring unit itself is very flexible in the layout terms and space-wise also for existing plants. We do also provide the solutions for the feeding conveyors as well as output conveyors after the dewiring. How the dewiring works itself is that we run the bale in with the conveyor. We have these grippers coming from both sides, taking hold of the wires. Then we cut from the front with the front cutter. The grippers move aside. After that, we move the material forward, let go from the wires from the other side and coil them up. Also, the intelligence of this machine is the leading edge. We have, with all of our machines, we deliver the remote access device, giving us the benefit of doing all program updates and services from remotely. And we use the newest PLC of Siemens.
And as customer wish, there's optionals for that.
Yes. So if you have more questions, detailed questions of the dewiring, please write them down for us and we will answer those as soon as possible.
As you did see, the big benefit in our dewiring compared to conventional ones was that we grab the wires and then cut, and then we collect them to the site, which is big benefit on and gives a more reliability and higher percentage of dewiring than these machines has been available before us.
Exactly. So then, going to the pulp process in our roadmap, what we want to point out here are these pictures, probably familiar for many of you.
Yeah, well, of course, we see here a rack, which is, of course, it's not our part of our process, and you know your process better, but our understanding is that from the recycling point of view is that there is a wires and plastics and all the other materials together on that one, and it will be very difficult to recycle. Can be recycled, but it's getting expensive. That our understanding, that our aim is to serve the customer with profitable systems to ensure the zero landfill, meaning that we like to take the wires out before this process, that you don't have to stop your pulper to take the racks out, and probably the racks break, somebody cuts, and then there's even more problems on that. But with taking the wires out before, we have a cleaner reject coming out.
Yes, indeed, because unfortunately, many times this does end up to the landfill. Few facts about landfilling today. So according to ISVA, the biggest 50 landfills together are around from 500 to 800 million square meters. Cubic meters, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Martta.
With just the 6 months from December 15 to June 2016, there has been reported 750 deaths due to poor waste management on landfills. So today we should, and we do have the knowledge already, that this has to be changed, and we are here to change it with you guys.
Not mentioning that landfill is, of course, one of the biggest climate change pollution place for the earth.
Exactly. So rather than seeing the pictures we saw before, we could be seeing this. Instead of costly landfill material, we could be seeing a resource. Is alternative fuels one of the business solutions? We do believe it is indeed, also for the paper industry.
Here we see our wrapping systems serving the customers for alternative fuels, where we can effectively pack the stuff different ways and for different reasons. But all this goes for energy use that, you know, they are not ending up to the landfill. That's the aim on the process. Here we see, actually it's a great story out from Cross Wrap too. We went to for partnership with Stora Enso Varkaus 25 years ago. We made the baling and wrapping plant for reject there, where they are using the reject as a fuel energy for their process and serving the community with the heat for district heating, and even having 8% of aluminium on that material, there was an innovation for getting that aluminium for recycling. Only the burnable material goes for energy, that even the aluminium is recycled from those bales. That's a great story out from zero landfilling.
Yes, indeed, and they use that material as their own resource, right?
Yes, they do. They take the benefit out from it and make energy out from it, and sell the wires and the aluminium.
And here we can see the machine behind it. So this is the wrapping machine 2200. The function of it is that we can install this with any horizontal baler. Once the bale comes out from the baler, we do the vertical wrapping. After that, we do a horizontal wrapping, covering the bales 100% hermetically, so that the valuable resource of alternative fuel can maintain its highest possible value of energetical value.
That's a good point. It's very important that the bales are filled with the airtight package, that the energy value remains. Like example, those bales you saw earlier, they were stocked 5 to 10 years before they were used, and the energy value remains there, and there's no environmental impact to the neighborhood. And that's very important. We are proud of the system doing that.
Indeed. There was also a question about the mobility of our machines in the bale opening, dewiring, and wrapping. All units are also available as per mobile systems.
The system which you did see here, we have even today that 25 years old machine at Varkaus. It's standby on a paper mill to be ready to work any day. that now it's not working every day because there's some of the material goes straight to the process, but when there's more material coming out, then it will automatically bale and wrap. That it's really 24/7 operation machinery.
And if we do have that racker rope as a reject coming out from the pulper, also we have a project in Turkey wrapping the pulper racker rope, right, Kalle?
Yeah. Oh yes, we do. Yeah.
With this similar machinery. All right, but that is here we can see the one mobile solution for the wrapping unit.
No, that's Thailand, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, with a pickup frame, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, but so that is the solution for keeping and maintaining the best possible energetic value in the alternative fuels. Here we have a other solution for the pulper reject. Would you want to tell a little bit about that, Kalle?
Yeah, there was that's a system for squeezing the moisture out from the before wrapping. That was extruder by Seabright there, and there we have a direct wrapper behind it. That it's kind of closed loop system that the water goes back to the process, and the material which comes out doesn't have any metal ties or anything. It has just the wraps like here. What we see here, this is a Juno plant in Oregon, where they do bale and wrap direct the materials for their own plant to produce again materials that they are saving a lot of materials out from the land. Nice system. Oh, we did jump on China. This machine is doing reject in China for to be used later on. That it's nice and neat, clean system after the paper industry or whatever the process are, and we can wrap and pack the materials. It's used for pulp too. That I mean, whatever you can bale it, you can bale more with the wrapping system. That I mean, like in this case, no ties. There's just a net and film, and it makes a neat, nice package and stays clean and nice to the for store, export, or use at own, whatever shipping, train, however you can transport your material. Those bales are nice to take it further on.
Yes, indeed. As Kalle mentioned, here we can see some examples of the storaging inside or outside. The cross-wrapped bales are environmentally friendly without polluting or animals, the pets, and so on.
And keeps the raw material clean.
Yes, indeed. Also, when coming to transport, the transport is efficient and clean.
Yes, it is.
So then, once we have feeded the line, we have took the wires out with dewiring, we have turned our reject to valuable resource and not landfilling it. Then we have wrapped it, storage it. Now it's going to transport. Well, since we did do the bale wrappers, we did feel responsible of also doing the bale opening machine for those who will use the valuable resource.
Actually, that came out from the customer again, like that our partner customer asked it, that you make a nice bales, but how to open up them, and well, there was nothing available, and we did have to invent the system to open the bales. But in the same time, we were thinking already about the dewiring, and today the same machine with little extras, it can open up the wrapped bales, but it dewires the bales with the wires, that it's same unit.
Indeed, and from this video you can actually see the similarities with the dewiring and the bale opener, which today is actually the one and the same with few options, not even modifications.
Yeah, it has the machine. So we call it the bale opener, but actually it's the same dewiring system. It has two cutters more that before it starts the process, it will cut the film from the down and up side before it goes to the conveyor to remove all of them. The same machine moves them, moves the ties and films, or if there's only films, it moves them, or actually it can be used for dewiring too, that it's quite handy to do. Now you see that there has been a cutter in the top, taking the cutting the films, and the same kind of grippers pick up the film and ties, and only the material drops to the process, which is important when we are talking about example paper mill reject, or let's call it SRF or alternative fuel. It will drop the materials to process, which is usually like 20-30 inch, or 2 to 3 inch, or 20-30 mil. And same coiling system works for all. I mean, it can be films and ties, or only the ties. Example, the dewiring system in US, the customers are using, it can handle whatever. I mean, example, 20 galvanized wires, no problem, it works with those. Or if you have films, it works with them too.
Or straps or rope. So once we have opened the bale, the valuable resource goes to use.
That was, by the way, that was the cement.
Yes, indeed. So then moving on in our process. So then we have opened the valuable resource to be used as energy, and as said, that can be used in the cement kilns or waste to energy, or then alternatively
district heating, or where it's needed, but we are replacing other fuels that which are not renewables.
Indeed. All right, so if you have any further questions of this process, please write down to us and we will for sure get back to you. Now we have covered the roadmap from bale storage, from stock preparation to pulping process, from pulper from the reject to using the reject as a alternative fuels. Then we go upwards in our roadmap. So we go to actual handling of the pulp and the efficient solution we have for that. And not to forget environmental friendly, of course.
So here again, we are in an area which is not ours. I mean, we are talking about pulp. Is it wet lab or is it just a loose material and so on? But if it doesn't go straight to the process, it has to be moved, I mean, and stocked, and then reuse it when it's needed. And our understanding is that making this process easy, we can wrap that wet lab, or we can then there is a possibility for bale that with a twin ram and direct wrapping. So we can make nice and clean packages out from the pulp, which is actually used already for that kind of process, and it will be, let's say, more cost effective. And we are happy to talk about that with you, that if you have questions from that later on. But let's see in this a little bit further what we see here. Okay, on this picture we see pulp, which is baled and then direct wrapped, and we have their weight scale automatic labeling system that each bale has date and weight, and of course telling the material and producer, and it can be shipped, trucked or trained, or just stocked and used when it's needed. But the beauty of it is that it's nice and clean stock. Is it outside, inside, or wherever it is, it can be stocked during the after when it's baled. And the bale size can be, I mean, we do that with different balers, bale size. We work with all the baler manufacturers, and we can choose together with you the right one for it, or you just let us know that which one you like to have. And then, I mean, the bales can be everything from 1.1 cubic up to 3 cubic meters, so that you can get the more in a bale. We do know that the standard for the pulp bales are very small, maybe 600 by 600, 800. But our understanding is that if we are looking for the cost efficiency on pulp removing or transporting or handling, bigger the bale is, better it is. And then it costs less, and that saves the environment too.
Indeed, in operational costs and consumables. So about consumables, I added this slide here just to think a bit about the sustainability and recycling of our packaging of, for example, pulp, or then the
other materials. Like a paper.
Yeah, or paper. So here we see a traditional package from the industry. And here we will see what kind of ingredients we would use for that. So starting from the left, we have plastic, that the consumption is not exactly optimized. Maybe if you can see the air bubbles. And of course, if we have not wrapped that tightly from 6 sides. Also, it is not 100% weatherproof. Is it airproof either, as Cross Wrap is?
No, it's not. I mean, if its bottom is open, you get the moisture in and dirt in and so on. That it's not the same thing.
Yeah, you get a bit like a Amazon inside if you go from different kind of temperatures.
That's right.
Then we have a pallet underneath of wooden material,
which is again, it's nailed. It's not pure for recycling. It has to be processed because there's nails on those that wood.
Exactly. And then we have the straps.
Yeah.
Then you can see some corner protection. Then we have a sticker labeling, which means that that is a hazardous waste, isn't it so, Kalle?
Yeah, it is. Well, we have a possibility to put the paper between the layers if it's needed.
Indeed, if we use the transparent film, we put the label in, if wanted, between the films, so we don't need to use or create hazardous waste. And then sometimes there can be some side boards or covers as well.
And in this case, I think there's a top board.
Yeah. When with Cross Wrap, we can provide you the solution with the film only, or film and the net. Well, then we get the question quite a bit, but you are wrapping in plastic. Where is the sustainability in that? Well, as said, we come from the waste and recycling industry, so we take this question really seriously. So a few facts about this. The film that we can use with our wrapping machines is 100% recyclable. Also, there is films available that in the making process they have been using recycled plastic in those films. Also, as seen from the previous slides, we use less packaging materials, so the recycling process is light for the receiver of the package.
That's right.
Lowest film consumption. So our wrapping machines comes with the 4 different wrapping programs. They are highly like you can optimize the use of the film according to your needs. And Kalle, you are putting up your hand.
Yeah, I was just wanted to say that this cross-wrapping system, this 3D, what we are doing is really something else. That, I mean, we do the vertical and horizontal wrapping in a process, and we can optimize the films on the corners or where it's needed, and it seals 6 sides, secures the package.
Indeed, and putting the film where it needs to be durable for your handling, transport and storage. And lastly, as said, we do deliver our machinery, especially the dewiring. We have delivered to paper industry, but also to the plastic industry. So we are well connected. We can say we are well connected today.
Yes, we are.
In the recycling and in the film recycling industry as well. So we can also find and recommend the local places where you can recycle this film. So there we get a circular economy example for our wrapping film.
That's right.
Indeed. Well, again, we have wrapped our pulp whichever type it is. And we saw some truck and storage examples previously. Here we can see some vessel examples.
Especially today, that if we are talking about the export or moving the materials, if we are talking about moving them from country to country or the continent to continent, that shipping, it will mean that either it goes loose in a ships in a wrapped bales, when we see this and a good option cost-wise, because the container costs has gone out from the roof on you know, shipping something from US or Europe to Asia, because as we see everywhere that the transport cost gets higher. And in the same time, if we look this environmentally ways, that if you have to put all those bales to the containers and get the containers to ship, how much we are just shipping containers back and forth, when we can ship them in a more efficient way. And same time, materials stays cleaner because they are well protected and they are easier for handling. That's it's really interesting discussions today with quite many people on this type of process.
Indeed, as most of us know that there is logistic challenges in the infrastructure at the moment that we haven't seen in a while for the containers. All right, well then after transporting, we do, well, here we get another example of then train transport. These examples are from
well, this is Europe and US, but the bale size is here. It's a large one on the left-hand side, but of course we can do different bale size, and of course bigger the bale is, cheaper it is. Depends, of course, the production and volumes what you have to do, but we have a solution when you have a decent production.
Indeed. So then the material has again been transported. When we need to open it, we do have the bale opener again, which is basically the same machine as is the dewiring. For that, I will have a last video for you guys about from our latest installation in US.
Okay, here we have a site which is recycling plastic. Beauty of the system is that it's fully automatic. You just keep feeding with the forklift, and the machine will dewire it, and your material can be paper, OCC, plastic, organic material, and pulp or so on, that, and it can be wrapped or only with wires. We can do system for you and to your process to work 24/7 automatically and save the costs and have a clean raw material to you. Actually, on the right hand side there we have a picture which is that unit is working outside. Somebody was asking if we can do machinery outdoors, and all our machines are capable to work outdoors. Of course, depends. It's a little roof is not a bad idea on machines which works outdoors.
Indeed, indeed, good addition. So to wrap it up, we have come to the final step of our roadmap, of zero landfill solutions for the paper industry. So our message is that your quality, sustainable product deserves the sustainable process, and we are happy to provide those solutions with our experience to you guys and talk more about it in online one-to-one sessions.
Yeah, and actually here you see the pictures where we are, and well, we are here in Finland anyway, but where our machines are, that starting up from the small part, where we serve the local community to taking the materials down in the summertime in ships, in a wrapped for the use for energy, and we are forests down in New Zealand and so on. And the idea why we can serve everybody worldwide is that we are really connected and we do everything as a service fast as remove. That's one of the key issues for our service for 24/7 industry.
Indeed. Here you can see again our beautiful faces and also our whole sales team that are all happy to serve you at your location. So I am Martta Kivelä and happy to serve you in Italy and North America. And thank you for joining us. It has been a pleasure. I look forward to our discussions after the webinar. If you have any questions or requests or comments about it, I look forward for those via LinkedIn, email, or even a phone call. I'm happy to have a chat.
Well, thank you for my side. I'm Kalle Kivelä, and I speak only Finnish and some German, but like she's talk Spanish and Italian too. But we serve customers in Spanish, and then Russian, and then we are happy to serve you wherever you are in the world.
So, thank you, kiitos, spasiba, gracias, grazie, danke, tak, merci. That's all I know. Have a great evening, day, or afternoon, depending on your location. And stay safe and see you soon.
Thank you, and be in touch.